Alright, YouTube, back in the gear closet. I think we're slowly but surely making this more of a reoccurring thing. And you gotta ask yourself, what is Tolstoy doing in the gear closet? Wearing his Pewter City Gym awesome shirt and his climbing harness, his dick straps. We're here to talk about an ATC. Maybe go over a few things. I just want to throw this out there real quick. I have only been doing rock climbing for about 6 or 7 months. I've only ever been training in gyms, and I am still relatively a novice. So most of this information is what I was taught and how I was trained. If any of this seems wrong, hey, drop a line in the comments. Let me know tips, tricks, and warnings. Rock climbing, like a lot of other hobbies, let's say like, you know, the sport of firearms, of shooting, is, half of it is safety. So this is the latest piece in climbing gear that I have managed to get my hands on. I was at a climbing gym in Raleigh, and I realized that after a while this would be one of the next logical steps. Totally not climbing shoes, which really I'm going to need to get. There is actually one of my viewers who commented on one of my, I think it was the climbing harness review, and he talked about these type of shoes that I should look into, the 510 Renegades. I really do need to look into those. That kind of input is greatly appreciated, by the way. When someone is on my level or is into the thing that I'm into, and it's like, by the way, have you tried this? Or hey, you should, you know. The last time that we were at the climbing gym, me and my partner were kind of getting stomped by like walls rated at 5'9", 5'8". We started off on some killer 510s that I swear that we were able to do the time before they shifted all the grips around in the gym. But anyway, and some dude literally like kind of saw us struggling, getting like halfway up this 5'9" rated wall, and he was like, you know, maybe you should try the 5'7" walls. And I just thought like that was a come at me bro thing to say. Like, that was straight up some SpongeBob SquarePants, like, welcome to the Salty Spittoon, how tough are you? You know, I don't think this is the place for you. You're more like that over there. Weeha, Junior! Like, what? And one of the things that he said was that we should look into investing in better shoes. The gym rental shoes are crap, and they don't have very good grip. That's a topic for another day. Ironically, leaving out, my buddy was like, look, we got the belay safe, you know, certificate or whatever the fuck here, you know. You see that tag? That tag says belay certified. That means I'm certified. Certifiably insane in the membrane, staring at my crotch still. You know, we got the little tags to hang on the harness that let you know that, you know, you won't get each other killed, belaying for each other, so might as well pick up the ATC so we don't have to keep, you know, renting one from them every time. And I also do have a really decent carabiner. Oh, where did it go? It's, alright, hang on. At that moment in time that I realized that I had the carabiner attached to the backpack that I went to Otakon with. Obviously, I was using that to secure my Pokeball to the Mystery Ranch pack. I use this to carry around my Ivysaur. It keeps me safe from Team Rockets just randomly jumping out and challenging me to some kind of dog fight. Yeah, let's go ahead and take that off. Unlike a lot of other carabiners that people will use to keep their keys on, this one is a black diamond. I got it a long time ago at an REI. It wasn't really all that expensive, and I can't remember why I shelled out for it because I was just hiking at that point. I'm going to put this in my other pack. It was at the same time that I picked up this, which I forget how this got sold to me, how much it cost, and I think all I can remember is the jewel strength. The break strength is like 1,200 joules or 12,000 joules. I don't remember. Either way, this does not seem thick enough by comparison to any of the ropes that we've used at any of the climbing gyms, so I'm certain that it can't be used for that. That wasn't my initial intention of using this, but for all intents and purposes, I'm going to be using it just to kind of demo out the ATC. I know, did you think that you were going to actually get to see some footage of me at a climbing gym? Heck no, those things are overrun because for whatever reason, one reason or another, this entire state, when it really gets into a sport, gets into a sport, and it happens to be the exact same one that I decided to start doing. So everyone's always there at the climbing gym, and it's getting harder and harder for me to get footage of me doing stupid stuff, at least at that one in Raleigh. I mean, it's the capital city, so, you know, that's just how that is. Let's get a closer look. Pretty standard black diamond ATC. There were a couple of the ones that they had on sale. I've only ever handled the other type that has, what's the word? Teeth, I guess, for lack of a better term, which really helps when attempting to stop someone from suddenly descending. They also had some, like, automatic Petzl grade, like, Petzl automatic belaying ATC device dealy. I've seen some reviews of that. I don't really understand yet how it works. I think what it makes it easier for your partner to allow you to descend. I'm still hazy on that. But I didn't need any fancy tricks, and this was the cheapest that I could get. Slowly but surely, much like a Gear Queer, I've been assembling all of my pieces of tat, similar to Metroid, putting together the suit so that I can climb 5-7 walls. Stop laughing. Please. Please stop laughing. No, I swear to God, I've done better, but at gyms where I feel like, because there's a couple in the air, I've been to like three different climbing gyms, and they all have like kind of different difficulty ratings. I feel like it's not as universal as it needs to be. As my climbing partner pointed out, the ratings that I found on the climb manual for, say, Pilot Mountain, that must be a little bit more objective on the grounds that it's one wall and they can't change. Well, it's not one wall, but you see what I'm saying. The rocks don't change there. I feel like a dope because I actually don't know what ATC stands for, and I'm not even going to sit here and try to guess. I could look it up on my phone. Guess what? It's not in my pocket. That's one of the things the dude at the gym was really adamant about, is that I remove all stuff from my pocket. And to be absolutely honest, look, man, I both belayed and climbed with my cell phone and my knife in my pocket. But he was like, boy! And I was like, alright, alright. I'm going to read a little bit of the back of the box. Pretty simple packaging. Nothing really to go over. I don't think you need close-ups. I mean, you know, beautiful as it is. Often copied but never equaled. Really? No, there's no other company besides yours that makes the best ATC? I would actually like to know what grade of stuff was used on, you know, Everest. I feel like every company reps out as the company that does, like, the stuff for Everest. Like, why do I feel like the people who are, you know, like the Sherpas and the people who are escorting, you know, the sightseers to the top of the mountain, like in that really bitchin' movie Everest with Josh Brolin? Why do I feel like they don't use North Face? There's a lot of North Face love going on right now. I see a lot of that. Anyway, often copied but never equaled, the ATC is our classic durable tube-style belay/rappel device for all-around climbing performance. Then you can read it either in German or French if you want to sound funny and European. Souvent copié, mais jamais égalé, l'ATC est notre. Yeah, you didn't know that I was very refined and cultured. And when you speak with such elegance, you know, with such accuracy, you know, the women, they love it, you know, ooh la la, right? The packaging looks pretty simple to get into, but I'm sure it's not going to be that simple to get into. And of course, what I like is there's literally like a little graph on the back showing you what to do. That's fantastic. It's like, fuck it, the person who's buying this probably doesn't know what they're doing. Haha, still got my, let's see if, ooh. So like a little, what we got here going on is a, it's a zip tie. Feel like this should be able to break the chain, but I'm also warping the box while doing it. The Tenacious is really biting into this stupid tie, and I feel like it's almost got it out. Well, I guess you can actually just tear the dang thing loose. But I don't want this twist tie on there. Bloody hell. By the way, this is like literally what 90% of my programming is, me attempting to get into packaging. No, really. Oh, wow. Dang it, the side of the knife already scuffed up the weird little instructions on the side. I know I should be using some clippers, but you also know that I'm a stubborn jackass. Yes! And it did it. Alright. So, free of the binding, the mortal coil of its packaging. Pretty classic ATC. Dime a dozen. Cost 20 bucks. Which is still more money than I got. Even with the Patreon pledges, which are really appreciated, and I'd love to use them right now. I could use them to buy really good, well, I hope really good climbing shoes. But I don't want to go out and the first thing I do is do a review of stuff that I know my fans don't usually tune in for. That's why I'm trying to like strike this balance and kind of reassure you that I'm gonna keep making videos about, you know, I want to go fishing, I want to go hunting, I want to go hiking, I want to go kayaking again. But at the same time, you know, if you want, I'll talk about, like, video games and books and whatnot, because I do also enjoy those. Very much a balance of yin and yang, and Taoism and yin-yang, and Chinese chicken, all that good stuff. So, one of the other things that comes with, in the packaging, are instructions on probably how to belay and not kill your partner. Ooh. Ooh. I just realized all of my gear is black diamond. And by accident, it's got it assembled like piece by piece that way. Well, guess I gotta get the t-shirt. Oh no. It shows you all the crap to do and not to do in little instructionables that come in multiple languages. But we don't give a fuck about that. Safety isn't cool, kids. Anyway, so first thing we're gonna need to do is set up this rope. Really don't feel like taking this apart because once you get this fucker back to its resting position, you know, it's really hard to set it back up again. And I might even try to show you how to tie in case you care to do that. Alright, so as you can see, I've managed to loop it around one of the little coat rack hangers in the inside of Tolstoy's closet. And what I would do, if I were about to belay my partner who's going to climb, let me find the center of the freaking camera here. I would take a piece of the rope, leaving a pretty decent chunk, usually enough to touch the floor. Again, I'm trying not to undo the entire thing in my bloody closet. And through one, but not both, and I don't actually know why there are two, I'm sure someone with more experience could tell me, through one of these little holes, giggity, I would stick it through, and I would make it match up with the little wire outlining. It's not really wire, it is some kind of, I guess it's wire, very thick, heavy-duty wire. It obviously, it flexes a little bit. I don't know the purpose for that. I guess to soften the blow for when you have to belay someone heavier than you, or if there is a mistake made. Oh, once you've got it all set up, you're looking at it kind of the way that I would be looking at it. The little very heavy-duty wire frame of it should sync up with the rope that you've pulled through. The shorter bottom half should face down, and on top should be the half that is connected, you know, all the way up to, I guess, you know, the pulley at the top if you were in the gym, or the climbing chain that is anchored into the top of the wall that you're climbing on the outdoors, which is then looped back and attached to the harness that is your buddy, that you are keeping from death. So, you will then take your carabiner, unscrew your carabiner so that it is free, hook it through both it and then you. And you're going to want to tighten it. So you always go ahead and give it that check. So the way that it works from here to belay is you would put your dominant hand on top, leaving enough room, they say about a hand's length, in between you and the ATC. The problem is that while you are in the brake position, which is holding it down, you see how that quickly binds up and stops it from, yeah, well, if for whatever reason it wasn't, it would create a pulley if your hand was being held up. And if that can sometimes happen, if you don't have fast enough reaction time to break it and stop it from happening, and your hand gets sucked into the ATC, it's going to pinch, it's going to hurt you, you're going to let go, that rope is going to come all the way through, and then your buddy's going to die, depending. So, long story short, as your buddy is ascending, and there is more and more slack getting taken up from this other end, you are going to end up very quickly in short bursts. This is called, I think, the waterfall technique. It's kind of a, like, doggy paddle. Apparently there are more advanced techniques. They seem funky, and as I was taught, if it feels more natural to do it the way you were taught, do it the way you're taught. Keep your dominant hand on top. You go up very quickly, back down, shimmy, shimmy. Up, back down, shimmy, shimmy. If your hands are up in the air when your partner falls, like I said, it's going to act like a pulley and suck your hands toward the ATC, and you don't want that. So just in places where you see that your partner is taking up slack and you need to get it, your partner is climbing up and the rope is becoming more slack, you need to make it tight, because if your partner falls and there's a lot of slack, it's going to create a lot of more momentum than if he had just fallen like a ½ inch and the harness had caught him because it was attached to a tight rope attached to you. And this is especially important in case the person you're belaying is heavier than you, because it's going to want to launch your ass into the air. So, yep. And always try to keep your hand away, and always keep your dang dominant hand on the rope, and whatever you do, don't walk your hand end over end. You always want to keep at least one hand on the brake. Or in the brake position, I don't know. I'm still getting used to all of the climbing terms. So, I don't know if I'll be able to get some footage of this in action. We'll see if by the point when I go to publish this video, I can get some cool footage of this. And while we're at it, I might just do a little tutorial on how to tie in. I don't know if I have enough room to do that in here. Yeah, I might not, but fuck it, let's give it a shot. So this is like the most basic rock climbing knot. This is to secure the climber's harness, not the belayer. Some really nice dude showed this to me at a rock climbing gym because he needed, he was gonna belay for me and he needed time to rest in between him and his wife doing sets. So, the thing that he taught me is, take the rope, I'm trying to do this, well this is at a very odd angle, stretch it out about 1 arm's length, and then you want to twist once to make Bob. This is Bob. Meet Bob. Twist one more time to choke Bob, because for some reason we really don't like Bob. And then you gotta remember to do this from behind. You gotta take it and poke him in the eye. That's not right, though. No, that is right. The majority of the majority of the climbing gyms that I have been to, the climbers' ends are attached to carabiners. It wears their equipment out faster, but it makes getting in and out of, you know, climbing position a whole lot easier. Make Bob. Choke Bob. And then that worked. Alright, so what you should end up with is something looking like this. This is a really terrible tutorial. I hope this is entertaining for everyone who never intends to use my advice to do anything. So from there, what you're going to want to do is first you have to loop it through your harness, the free end through your harness. Basically the point of this knot is to make as redundant a knot as possible. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to lower the camera. Yeah, now you're really staring at my crotch. Alright, so you're going to want to make this knot as redundant as possible in order so that you won't slip out of it, depending on how hard you're falling. So one of the things, the biggest things about this knot is, I guess, maybe if I bring it around so that you can kind of see what I'm seeing. So you got this figure 8 here, and what you're going to want to do is take the bottom that you have looped up through your harness, and you're going to want to match every loop like it's a highway. That's how I see it in my head. Match every loop that you have made. So you see that? And you want it to stay on the same side. It's okay if it's on the inside, it's okay if it's on the outside. But just like 2 highways, once you have one built and you know all the traffic is going that way, the one next to it must stay on that side. It's okay if you drive on the right-hand side of the road. It's okay if you're one of those weird fog-breathing countries and you drive on the left side of the road, whatever the hell. You just have to keep it on that same side. And I did not give myself enough room. I think I can fix that by bringing it up a little bit. So there you go, because we haven't completed it. So you're going to loop underneath, then over top. I know this is terrible, bad lighting, and I'm standing in the way, but ultimately, it'll look like that. And that is a very redundant knot. I've seen some gyms where they want you to make a safety loop at the top, which is just like one last little weird, like, ditch effort to really, really, really knot it. You know, just in case. I'm not going to play with that. Most of the time, no one has yelled at me yet. This is insanely redundant. It's also hard to get out of when you've been climbing super hard, and that's why I don't, because it's a tinier rope, so I don't want to do this. You've been climbing super hard, putting a lot of pressure on that. These two do not want to leave each other, and what I've been told is to peel the orange. When you want to get it out, you just got to push these two apart to loosen it up. And that looks simple, but if I really tugged on this tight and really suspended my weight from it, yeah, getting this apart would not be pleasant. Ha! Not! You see what I did there? Don't forget that if you get caught in the mountains, you can totally bring Calorie Mate. I should definitely try this on YouTube, but I don't know how long it lasts. I don't know if there's a... Oh, there is a goodbye date. Holy cannoli! It says 15/10/22, but I actually don't know how long that lasts. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna do one of these. I promise. I really do. Calorie Mate. I bought it exactly for this reason. I even have a backup just because I want to keep one. They're so strange. I really want to talk about this because I know a lot about this.